Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the corporate world. Today, we're diving into Santander Holdings USA's latest filing, a Form 8K. It might sound like alphabet soup, but trust me, there are some interesting tidbits inside, like what they might be serving for dinner at the next board meeting. Kidding, let's get into this. In short, it's about a presentation they're giving. Usually presentations are not required to be made public, so that's pretty interesting. Let's see what they are talking about. First off, this isn't your typical annual report. A Form 8K is like a corporate breaking news alert. Companies use it to tell the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC, about major events that could matter to investors. Think of it as the corporate world's version of a news flash. In this case, Santander Holdings is sharing presentation materials. This report is dated March 3, 2025, which means that's the day the breaking news happened, or at least when they decided to share it. This date tells us when to start paying attention. So, who is Santander Holdings USA? They are the US branch of the global Santander Group, one of the largest banking groups in the world. In the US, they provide a range of financial services from retail banking to corporate finance. Basically, they handle money for individuals and businesses. Their headquarters are in Boston, Massachusetts. It doesn't really matter, but it is required information in the report. Here, the report mentions items 2.02 and 7.01. Item 2.02 is about reporting financial results, and item 7.01 has to do with something called Regulation FD. Regulation FD is all about fair disclosure. It means companies can't selectively share important information with a few people, like big investors, without telling everyone else at the same time. The goal is to keep things fair and transparent. Santander is sharing slides from presentations they'll be giving. The slides are attached as Exhibit 99.1. The company notes that the information in the presentation is just a summary, and it should be viewed alongside their official SEC filings and other announcements. They're also not promising to update the information regularly, although they might. There's some legal language here saying that this information isn't officially filed in the same way as some other documents. That means there's a slightly lower level of legal liability attached to it, and it won't automatically get incorporated into other filings. Finally, Item 9.01 lists the exhibits included with the report. In this case, there's Exhibit 99.1, which is the presentation itself, and Exhibit 104, which is the cover page formatted in a specific way for computers to read. Here's where we get the good stuff. We see a reference to presentation materials of Santander Holdings USA, Inc., dated March 3, 2025. That's the actual presentation we've been talking about. Let's jump into that, shall we? Unfortunately, the document only contains a link to the file. Okay, zooming out and looking at the big picture, what does all this mean for Santander Holdings USA? Well, on one hand, their commitment to transparency and open communication with investors is pretty great. By sharing these presentation materials, they're giving everyone a peek behind the curtain. It builds trust and helps investors make informed decisions. They seem to be playing by the rules. The fact that they are referencing the right items and legal disclaimers shows that they have a strong legal team behind them. They also are thinking about disclosing information fairly by referencing Regulation FD instead of privately disclosing information. However, you need to wonder, why is this happening? They are saying that the presentation is summary information and that they undertakes no duty or obligation to publicly update or revise this information, although it may do so from time to time. This means that they might or might not keep the information up to date. This is weird. Why give the presentation if you are not going to update it or not stand behind it? We are also missing the presentation itself, so it's hard to tell. Overall, Santander Holdings USA appears to be in a solid position, navigating the complex world of finance with transparency. Thanks for tuning in to Corporate Decoder. If you found this breakdown helpful, give us a like, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more corporate deep dives.